Good morning and welcome to Sano International Cricket Ground for this, the third and final match of the series, T20, between the Waves and the Eagles. Currently, the Waves, Eastern Waves, are up 2-0, so they've actually won the series, but still a lot to play for here in this third match. The Eagles have won the toss and have elected to bat, so that'll be a first in the three-match series, them batting first. Beautiful conditions here at Sano, in fact probably a little hot, so it's looking around about 32 degrees at the moment. It's going to warm up to around 37, 35, 37, so that's going to be sapping on the players.
Yeah, welcome to all of our viewers, both from within Japan and externally, whether you're watching on the JCA YouTube channel or the Fan Code app in India. To run through the teams very quickly, a few changes been made. I've got the Eagles team in front of me. We have Erika Oda remains as captain, Shimako Kato, Emerson Philsell, Hinase Goto, Minami Yoshioka has made herself available and is back in the team. Lemon Chung, Srinali Renade comes back into the side. Erika Toguchi Quinn, Nonoha Yasumoto, Gandhi Jafta, and Palak Gundecha plays her first game of the series. So dropping out, Ayumi Fujikawa, Ayumi Doi, and Ayaka Canada will be on the bench, whilst for the Waves, Akari Nishimura, Kari Chan, Haruna Iwasaki, Amogalang Mafangula, Jess Adams, Ahilia Chandel, Maya Nagida, Krumi Ota returns, Sekasumi returns, and Elena Kasuda Nen keeps her place. So Ayaka Kato Stafford drops out, as does Ruan Kanai, whilst Kyo Fujikawa unfortunately has missed the whole series after picking up an injury in the training camp last weekend. First ball's been bowled. Hinase Goto's out there facing. She's opened up in all three matches. Ahilia Chandel with the ball.
And as she has in the previous two matches, she's right on line with her radar. Appeal there in the second ball.
Not a bad shout, that, Garth. Perhaps a little bit high. Swinging back into the right-hander, but a tasty delivery from Chandel. You got myself in the commentary box, Alan Kerr, Head of Cricket Operations at the Japan Cricket Association, and Garth Thomas, otherwise known as Tomo, sat beside me. Garth, it's been a good couple of days, into day 3. Probably the hottest it's been so far. What have you made of it all?
I've loved it, Alan. It's been exciting to watch. It's certainly great to see these overseas players making contributions, which we'd expect. And hopefully that's rubbing off on the Japanese domestic players, learning from their skills and expertise. It's a great concept, and it will advance women's cricket here in Japan.
Yeah, a chance for the players to be out on the turf wicket as well. And I know that there was some of the girls, it's pretty common, there seems to be a theme no matter where we are, that people like to have a bit of a whinge about the state of the pitch. But actually, you know, when you've seen the way that Kari Chan and few others have batted on it, there's definitely runs to be scored, and you know, no matter where you are in the world, that you've got to learn to navigate whatever the pitch you're faced with. So definitely experience of great value to these girls, and hopefully the Eagles can have a chance to post a score today. That one a bit uppish, pushed into the leg side, but falling well short of the square leg field. I think that's Maya Nagida down there at square leg. Goto has struggled to really take the attack to Ahilia Chandel, not particularly surprising, a bowler of her quality. Hinase Goto is still relatively new to the opening role. We've seen scores of 103 and 116 win the first two games. What do you think the Eagles need to post here? Being with a shout, Garth. Do you think they need 100, or do you think the batting second is going to be tough?
I think psychologically, I think they need the 3 figures, Alan. Anything over 100 will be a competitive score, and one they may be able to defend, especially if they have the bowling of Kato, Shimako Kato, who just bowled the 1 over yesterday. She's sort of carrying a bit of an injury, but just her 1 over, I think it went for only 3 runs. It just they seem just short a bowler, the Eagles outfit, so I think they can defend 100 if they can post that. You were talking about Chandel being not easy to get away, and just looking at her figures the previous 2 games, no wicket for 10 and no wicket for 6, but she is leading the economy rate here, only going at 2 and over her previous 8 overs. So, yeah, she has not been easy to get away.
Yeah, it has a big impact, doesn't it, that? See, Kurumi Ota has the ball back in hand.
And Kurumi just pitches about half pitch, but it stays low. Half an appeal, but unmoved. Hitting down leg. But just less pace than Chandel at the other end.
Plenty of experience, though. Been around a long time. And Erica Older top scored yesterday, the captain. She knows that there's a fair bit of responsibility on her to make the runs for the Eagles. See how she rises to that today.
It's a good ball that beats the bat. Erica just looking to play that through the covers. To stretch for it a bit. First 3 overs, of course, the power play overs. Sorry, first 6 overs. I'm still in my T10 mode. Commentating yesterday, Alan, some T10 matches, which were highly entertaining. But, of course, back to T20 here today. So 6 overs. The power play in the previous 2 games, both teams haven't been too overly aggressive. Scores are probably around about going 5 and over both teams.
Yeah, so around 25 seems to be par in the power play, doesn't it?
As you were saying, it's
10 dots so far. So the Waves on top yet again in the early exchanges. Yeah, commenting on that T10, Garth, you mentioned. I saw a chap bearing a similar name to your own, making, 73 off 28 balls and hitting raining sixes. Nevu Thomas, yes.
Sorry. Sakurano Thomas.
Sakurano Thomas, yeah. He's packing his bags this morning and getting ready to fly off to Papua New Guinea for the regional final. For those who don't know, Japan men's team will be competing for a place at the World Cup. Final stages of qualification. They travel to Papua New Guinea tomorrow and they'll be playing Papua New Guinea, the Philippines and Vanuatu in a 4-team tournament, double round robin format. Winning team going to the T20 World Cup in the West Indies and the USA in 2024. So it's a big week, big couple of weeks for Japan cricket. Those matches can be watched on the ICC.TV app. So if you don't have that, please download it, watch the game, support Japan. Follow us on socials, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, and of course, click subscribe on YouTube. We will be putting some content out whilst on tour. Chandel to continue. Erica Older managing to get back on strike, managed to get a single, but single off the first ball of this over. Chandel concedes the first run of the game for her, and Gortal is back facing. Yeah, looking at the stats for the tournament, Garth, there's plenty of awards to be given out later on. Of course, the Eastern Waves will be picking up a trophy. They'll be picking up the winners' medals as well. But there are some individual accolades to go. There's best batter, best bowler, and an MVP award.
Drives this back past the bowler. No run.
Stats aren't everything, of course, Garth, but it's always interesting to have a look and take a guide from that. I don't think in T20 cricket the leading wicket taker is necessarily going to be the best bowler, but
Right.
Interesting to see who's up there. Well, it's a decent appeal, but
Another
nothing
good ball.
given.
Yeah, another good ball from Chandel. She really is on the money here with her line and length, asking lots of questions of the batters. Yeah, I had a look at the some of the stats last night, Alan, and yeah, there's...
I think the best bat looks sewn up, doesn't it?
Yes.
Carrie Chan is a good 48 runs clear of the next best player.
Well, you never know what's going to happen today.
It's true. It's very true.
but I was talking to the Japanese commentary team, Shun-san, and who had a chat to Kerry-chan about batting and how she bats on this wicket. Continues to make it look easier than other players have.
Oh,
He got some good.
thought that might have been an edge there.
He got some good insight from her, and we're hoping that will rub off on fellow players in her team and even the opposition. Just observing how she bats, and good thinking cricketer.
Yeah, Hillier Chandel hasn't picked up a wicket in the tournament yet. But an economy rate of 1.8 coming into this game. Extraordinary stuff. And that's only coming down at the moment.
Yes, continues to be down. Good over again, and just 3 without loss after 3 overs gone. So a great start here from the Eastern Waves. Erica Older had a good innings yesterday. She made relatively quick 30.
Yeah. Interesting. Half an appeal for a run out, but safe there. Good running.
Yeah, Goto called early, called a partner through who was trusting, and yeah, in the end they made it relatively without risk. Good running, and good to see early on. As we were talking about yesterday, Alan, we often see desperate running or challenging the field more in the later overs, but should be done, can be done.
Right from the off, absolutely. If you want to get yourself up to 3 figures, you got to take what's on offer. Picked out the field at that time. Hit a bit harder. Not enough chance, not enough time to steal a single. Some junior cricket happening over on ground 2 today, Garth. We have the men in blue against the Sano Braves in the juniors. I reckon that's an under 15 game taking place. I should check that. It could be an under 19 game, but the men in blue boys do look a little bit bigger than the Sano Braves players. But good to see the kids out on a bank holiday, national holiday here in Japan today. Uminohi, Sea Day. They've passed up the opportunity to go to the beach and instead come to the cricket ground. Good on them. That is big. That's up in the air, and that's going to go. Oh, signaled as 6 by the fielder. I reckon that might have landed on the rope, but the fielder's given it.
Yeah,
Erica Oda suddenly showing what she can do with the band hand. 2 off 12 before that ball, and then launched. 8 off 13 looks a bit better. Camera won't catch that. Ball hitting the advertising hoarding on the way through. Might leave a little bit of a dent. Rumi Ota, she'll be a little bit taken aback with being attacked like that, I suspect.
it's a good shot.
Yeah, pressure tells. You see, big release shot, and all of a sudden, bowler feels it. Bowls wide next ball. Krimiota sat out yesterday, which was a bit of a surprise for me, but back in the team today. Strike bowler, of course, one of Japan's leading wicket takers. And a leg side wide called. I did have a chat with the umpires this morning, Garth.
Right.
They did acknowledge that they were especially lenient yesterday,
Yes,
and that they will be back to more what they did in the game 1.
more stringent.
Speaking to umpire Thurgate, he was talking about how whenever he's done women's tournaments at ICC level, which he's done a few of, they usually give them leg stump. Give them an extra stump on the leg side. And that's hit out to long on mid wicket. Come back for a second. Yeah, they usually give them an extra stump on the leg side at women's international level. So he's going to try and be doing that today, which is fair enough.
Well fielded there from Elena Kusara Narin.
Yeah, Kasuda Nairn's kind of made that position their own. We saw her do a fantastic stop on the boundary yesterday, didn't we? Running around, tiptoeing over the boundary and keeping the ball in play.
Yes, yeah. Not afraid to get the uniform dirty, put the dive in, save that, which was running away. Pretty quick outfield here at Sano with the heat we had yesterday.
Yeah, a bit of overnight rain as well, Garth. I don't know if you... Oh, that's a cracking shot. That's 4 straight off the bat. The moment she's hit it, flicked through the leg side, past square leg, races away.
Yeah, that was a great shot. Well timed. Just a little full and down leg side was Alta-san, and just clipped away, as you said, onto the leg side. Lovely shot.
Suddenly it's turned into an excellent over. 15 from it. So, changed the complexion of this innings. And that's what can happen in the game of T20, isn't it, Garth? You know, one big over, and all of a sudden, things look very different.
Yeah, well, commentating on the T10, it's amazing how quickly a game can switch in that format. You get real swings, momentum shifts, and you're right. Also here in T20, the format.
Oh, we just mentioned Kasuda Nairn. Looks like she's got the ball in hand.
Yes.
First change of the day. I'm going to say Goto back on strike. She's got the 1 to her name, 1 off 9. Oh, that's an edge, but it's beaten the keeper. They scamper through for a signal. Very audible edge even from up here, Garth.
Yes, can't have been too far from the keeper's gloves there. Just having a look at TV screen for that. And yeah, a little bit of shape.
Yeah, we've seen Elena Nairn bowl that delivery that starts on sort of middle leg and swings away. She certainly gets more purchase as a right-arm bowler and the ball in the air than most of the other players out there.
Yes.
And when she gets it spot on, it's very difficult to play. Bang. Well, Erika Oda is in the mood today. She has boshed that over mid-wicket. Couple of bounces, 4 more. Good to see, eh?
Great shot from Erika. It'll feel good. She middled that. It's half volley length and just picked it up across to the onside. Well over mid-wickets.
Batting with visibly more freedom and less pressure, I guess. The series is gone and there's not a target to chase, and I think perhaps those two things combining is allowing her to just play her shots without fear of getting out, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah, true. She was very hesitant in the first game of the series. It was probably the wicket was at its most challenging, perhaps, but she was very watchful, and we commented at the time, not the natural Erika Older style of game, but she came back yesterday and had a good innings and started well here today. She's a real key to the Eagles posting a competitive score, isn't she, Alan?
Definitely, and I think anything, like we've said before, 100, you know, given the heat today, chasing is tough. Like, it's definitely tough. The pitch is, you know, 3 days old now. 3 is the third T20 match being played on the same strip. The T10, we should mention, has been played on the synthetic. But the wicket is facing with a wear and is likely to get harder to bat on. So runs this morning are going to be key. It's going to get hotter and hotter and hotter as the day goes on. As Garth mentioned already, into the mid-30s. Likely. Oh, was that carried? I thought that went straight into the ground.
No, that didn't.
No, that has popped up. So Kasuda Nairn with the breakthrough. And Erika Oda, after looking so good, just didn't get enough behind that.
Yeah, just went onto the back foot and sort of played it straight into the cover's hands, really. It was a good catch.
That's Haruna Iwasaki fielding in the covers.
Nice. And the first wicket falls here for 25 runs on the board. Still another ball to come in the over before we reach our 5. But, over the series, I do want to say the Eastern Waves have probably caught better. I can't think of too many opportunities they've missed or put down.
Yeah, they've been good in the field. They've looked more like a unit, I would say, that's come together pretty well. They've got their little chance, and they've, clearly bonded pretty well as a group. And as you say, held their catches. And I think playing for one another and feeling like a proper team, proper outfit does contribute. So you're fielding and you're catching. I'm going to assume it's Gandhi Jafta coming in next.
He got out cheaply yesterday for 5. Made a contribution in the first game of 17 off just 23 balls in the losing effort. So perhaps another key wicket here for the Waves I'd love to take.
Yeah, we need to see how she goes about it today. And again, I think positivity needs to be the name of the game. 25 for 1 after 5. There's a runner ball 18 from Erica Oda before she was dismissed. It's got them off to a decent start. Still a way to go.
Beautiful outlook here from the commentary box. We're commentating from the 3rd floor of the old Tanama High School. So we call this the school end. And of course we look across to the sort of bottom of the mountain, Mount Karasawa, which is adjacent to the cricket grounds here, the International Cricket Grounds. There are 2 of them. So as Alan said, we're looking out onto ground 2. Some junior cricket taking place, which is great to see on a Monday. National holiday here in Japan. Looks like an innings break or perhaps a drinks break over there. But back live, we have Jess Adams with the ball.
No, that looks like Carrie Chan to me.
Sorry.
Left arm spin.
Bowling from
so
the
it's a double change. Peel straight up. Nothing doing by umpire Stockwell. Keeps his hands down.
Must have been a feather, perhaps. The keeper was very keen there.
Oh, it's just turned away. Don't think there's anywhere near it in the end. Fair bit of turn though. Straight away from ball 1. Hinase Goto 2 off 11, so in a bit of a rut. The balls are going through pretty low. Outside off stump.
Yeah, when you see that, you must warn yourself not to go back onto the back foot prematurely anyway.
Absolutely. Front foot, front foot, front foot.
And using your feet, as we've seen Carrie Chan do so when she bats.
Another appeal, but again, I think the turn is what's doing it for them. I think it's too good for the batter to get anything on it. Just looking at the field, just the one outside the circle. Out on the leg side, deep mid wicket. Everyone else is in and trying to make the batter feel uncomfortable. I think the bowler's doing a good job of that as it is. Just not a lot of intent at the moment from Hinase Goto. And it's very easy to get bogged down when you're facing spin, particularly left arm spin in this format. But ultimately, the name of the game is to score runs. So you've got to find ways to score, and leaving and front foot blocks don't seem to really move the game along too quickly.
Well, it's a maiden over, isn't it? And you rarely see those in a T20, and I agree, Alan. I think Goto just needs to be show some more intent. Already 2 of 16. It doesn't help the team. Looks like she has a good defence, but we want to see the attacking strokes played. As always, if you're watching on YouTube, do stick some comments in the box. Looks like Mark Pankhurst is with us again.
And he's got a question for you, Garth. He says how much he's enjoyed your commentary over the weekend, and can you give some background as to your connections with Japan cricket?
Okay, be happy to, Mark. Let's just watch this first delivery, perhaps.
Yeah, Elena Kasunanan is going to continue following that maiden from Carrie Chan. Gandhi Jafta on strike.
Originally from Cambridge in New Zealand, Mark. Grew up with a son. We moved across from Japan. I was over here for 20 odd years ago teaching English. Met my wife, moved back to New Zealand with our son.
How long were you
Leo.
in Japan for?
Oh, about 7 years.
7 years. And at what point was your son born in that 7
1999 he was born, and in 2005 we moved back to New Zealand. And being a sports lover myself, Leo played pretty much 7 or 8 sports at primary school, cricket being one of them. Became his favourite sport in high school.
Hit into the offside and scampered through, so Jafta quick on their heels to get the single.
Did a lot of coaching of cricket myself when Leo in his younger years, and anyway, he went on and did well with his cricket in New Zealand, and we, through a friend, we saw the opportunity or realised that Japan Cricket Association
Existed.
Yeah. Thank you. Of course, we followed them in the 2019 World Cup. It was brilliant to see, and I only wished cricket existed back when I was living here, although being in Toyama, not as much cricket up that way, but that's my connection. My son's...
Yeah, your son, of course, Rayo Sakurano Thomas, who's Japan men's team vice captain, and a half chance at the far end there.
Look, a direct hit, I think she was gone. It was a good throw in, good backing up too from the waves. Yeah, so my son Leo now lives and works for Japan Cricket Association, does a good job spreading cricket throughout local schools in the area. And that comes to the end of the over. 27 for 1 after 7 overs. Yeah, so it's just great, Mark, being a part of Japan cricket now. We've made the decision to move back and live here in Japan. We're up in Toyama, the west coast of Japan, not too far from the beach. So being Sea Day today, a national holiday, I would have been in the ocean. It's a lot warmer than New Zealand waters, Mark. It's around probably 23, 24 degrees. A bit warmer than Mount Maunganui. And it's Kerry Chan back into the attack, and yeah, just got just finding it difficult to get away. Close in field. Only the one on the boundary, and that's deep square. We have a short cover. Short mid-on. And the rest, the fielders are inside the circle. They're not on the circle. They're probably each of them 2-3 meters in front. So really pressurizing Goto here, realizing she's struggling. Expect to see a release shot. No. Yeah, so the run rate currently just under 4. It's amazing how the game can change. When Erica Odo is at the wicket, they were going along nicely, but things have changed here. Kerry Chan obviously tightening the screws.
Of course, it's kept low, isn't it?
Yeah, a bit of wear and tear perhaps on the wicket, being used for the 3rd day. We will see some inconsistent bounce. That's how the batters deal with it. And With Jafta on strike, there's a change in field. She's just dropping back mid-off. Yeah. Deep cover now, as well as our deep square. Jafta just a bit upset with herself. She was looking to hit that through the covers, probably got a bit of a thickish inside edge, and it went straight back to the bowl, end of the over. 28 for 1, and having a chat with batters will be interesting, just to perhaps what the more experienced Gandhi Jafta is saying to Goto to help her through. It's not easy. It's probably a bit of a language barrier there, I imagine, Alan.
Yes, I suspect there will be.
How's Goto-san's English?
Yeah, minimal. The Kansai players don't usually arrive on the cricket scene with too much English. That said, Hinase's been around cricket long enough now that you'd hope she'd have picked up enough to understand at least the cricket side of what gets discussed. But yeah, Carrie Chan's bowled back-to-back maidens now. It's a good way to start her spell. 28 for 1 after 8 overs. After Erika Oda got off to a decent start, things have stopped again since her dismissal. Jess Adams now into the attack. She's leading wicket taker in the tournament so far. Been highly effective. She'll be looking to add to those 7 scalps that she already has.
Yeah, and I see on the ladder, Kerry Chan's in second place with her 5.
Yeah, the dominance of the Waves players is pretty clear to see, isn't it? There's very much leading the way in the batting and the bowling individual honours, which gives an accurate reflection of why they're 2-0 up in the series. Jess Adams just loses that one down the leg side.
Yeah, well, I hope, look, I think if the Eagles, when they're in the field later on, they can just limit their extras. They were a bit disappointing in the second game. Probably, as we talked about, giving away around 25 to 30 extras. Would not help the cause. If they can reduce those to perhaps around 10 or 11, it certainly brings them into the contest.
Bowled up. Yeah, it's been coming. Hinase Goto just hasn't been able to score, and unfortunately that kind of innings, we saw yesterday Maya Nagida open up and face a lot of dot balls, but she caught up. She stuck through it, and she ended up getting 35 not out, but Hinase Goto is going to finish 3 off 27 balls, and that is not going to help the team's cause, unfortunately.
No, that will hurt a little, and yet another wicket to Jess Adams. Game 1, 4 for 13. Game 2, 3 for 13. What are we going to see in Game 3 from her? 1 for 1 at the moment. She's certainly had a good series. .32 degrees at the moment. Just 10:30 in the morning here in Japan. The sun gets up very early in Japan. I want to say probably 4:30, 5 a.m. at the moment, Alan. I'm not up that early to see it, but
yeah, I pretty much am with my little one. Although we have shutters on being on the ground floor, so there's zero light gets into our house. But yeah, we were up at 6 this morning, and I pulled the shutters up, and it was hot already. Practically, you can see the steam coming off my decking because of the rain last night. Big thunderstorm last night, which is pretty common at this time of year, such as the humidity and the pressure in the atmosphere that tends to crack in the evenings.
Yeah, heavy rain it was.
It looks like Shimako Kato has come out at number 4. Yeah, number 27 on the back. Saw her hit a 6 yesterday, so interesting to see if she can carry on. That's a nice shot to begin with.
Yeah.
There's a single. There's 2 if they want them. Kato turns down the second. Gandhi Jafta looked keen. She was running to the danger end. It was her call.
Yeah.
Zero interest from Shimiko Kato. We've mentioned a couple of times she's carrying a bit of a back injury. As I said before, she is talking about wanting to bowl today, so that will make a difference, you think. But they need to get runs on the board to have a score to defend.
Yeah, Shimiko's had a couple of good starts and looked quite good in game one, but out for 6 and then out for 10 yesterday. But yeah, you mentioned the lovely straight 6.
It's another good over from Jess Adams. 1 wicket, 2 runs conceded. 30 for 2 after 9 overs. So at the moment, the Eagles are in a bit of a trough. They need to find a way out of it.
So the sun does get up early here, and some people may be wondering, is there daylight saving in Japan? The answer is no. I've heard many reasons why they don't do it, one of which is that if it usually gets dark around 7 o'clock, around 7:15 at the moment is sunset here. But daylight saving, if that was extended, then the salarymen would continue to stay at work, being daylight, before returning home. So due to the hard work ethic or the culture of the Japanese people, they believe daylight saving would actually just extend working hours. Have you heard any reasons why daylight savings? I think they did trial it.
I've heard rumours. Looks like Megogawa's back into attacks. Yeah, I heard that they trialled it in the, I want to say the 1960 Olympics or 64 Olympics were in Tokyo.
Yeah, yep.
They trialled it then, they moved it forward 2 hours, and the impact was that all the, because it was later, all the bosses made everyone work later.
Right.
So, well, the sun's still shining, therefore it must still be the work day. And, you know, even though that was 60 years ago, the legacy remains, and no one wants to go back to it. Of course, they work long hours in Japan anyway, and
Totally.
I'm not sure the sunlight makes much of a difference, but yeah, that is the rumor that I've heard. There was talk about doing it for the Olympics just gone that Japan hosted, but but it didn't happen. They were talking about doing it because of the road race, particularly the marathon was still so hot so early, but it didn't happen for whatever reason, and that's when that story came up again of the previous Olympics and the legacy that it left behind.
Yeah, good start here from Megogawa. Her medium paces may be tough to get away today. She didn't play the first game. Game 2, her figures were 1 for 13 of her 2 overs. But she's made a good start here. That's just kept low, and Kato's just defended that. Would have gone on to hit, so dot balls, building pressure here as Megogawa. Expect Kato to perhaps show some intent in this shot. Look for a scoring shot, and again it's just slow medium pace right on off stump, that one, and Kato-san just keeps it out. Another dot, pressure building.
Yeah, again we've seen how tricky it can be to start in these games. That's short and hit into the gap. Another single. Something to wait for the ball to come onto the bat there. And that's the 10 overs, so that'll be the drinks break.
Yeah, 32 for 2.
Yeah, not exactly rollicking along, but hopefully there'll be a bit more life in the second 10 overs and try and push up towards 80, 90 to give themselves a chance.
Yeah, I just wonder with the pitch and how it's played in these first 10 overs, whether perhaps that competitive score around 100, 110 and will drop around perhaps 90. Could be a difficult chase.
Yeah, we'll be back in a minute or two just to pick up for the second half of this innings. Okay, players are back out. Umpires are ready. Megor Gow was pretty pleased with her first over, just conceding the 2 runs. Jess Adams is going to continue. Shimako Kato is on strike. Field's not too far spread. There's a backward square leg and a sort of wide long on and a wide long off. So 3 out at the moment. And that is chipped in the air and caught. First ball after the break. Jess Adams continues. She's storming away in the wicket taker list. That was a bit of a nothing shot. Really didn't really commit to it. Hit high on the bat and just popped up to mid-off, short mid-off, and a bit of a pre-rehearsed wicket celebration, it looks like. The waves. There we go. Very good. And that's what I mean about them looking like a team.
Yes. Yeah, very close unit are the Waves. Of course, with victories that becomes sometimes a little bit easier as well. But
Yeah, definitely.
great to see that little interlude.
I reckon that was probably Haruna Iwasaki in there again, taking her second catch.
Yeah, again, another catch taken. Let's hope the Eagles will take their opportunities in the second innings. But, Jess Adams, yet another wicket.
Yep, puts her on 9 for the tournament. 4 clear of the next best. But they're over here for a banning. Yep, Haruna Iwasaki confirmed as the catcher.
Well, she'll be going back to her local club, perhaps making a pitch for her to be an all-rounder or bowl as well. Do you know if she bowls for a...
She does bowl for a club.
She is an all-rounder.
I mean, I was aware that she played a game last season where she scored 100 in the first innings and took 5 for 8 in the second. So knows her way around the cricket field. Jess Adams.
Just as we say that, she just strays down leg for a wide.
I think that's her second wide that she's bowled, so she's only conceded 1 off the bat so far. And Minami Yoshioka is the next in, coming in at 5. Yoshioka has missed the first 2 games as she's been playing in a softball tournament, I believe. She's out there now. Backup wicketkeeper for the Japan women's team. And the Eagles have missed her. She's one of those players new to the game. Generally knows how to score runs rather than the most technically correct. As we see straight away, just put the ball in the gap and run.
She's relatively young, Alan?
Yeah, still at uni.
Yes.
I think she's probably in her last year at university. She's been a bit of a project player. Coach Dino's enjoyed working with her. Good attitude, very
Coachable.
very coachable, very enthusiastic and wants to learn. That one's just popped up as well. Now push for the single. That's going to be tight. Yeah, I think that's out. More bad news, I'm afraid, for the Western Eagles. Yoshioka's come and gone. Run out. I think if she turned quickly, they may have got a second run there, but she was slow on the turn.
Yeah, no, it's just coming through for a single, and it was the non-striker, so don't know how far she was backing up, but it was actually really well fielded. Got to the ball quickly, pick up and throw. Straight over
the ball didn't go
stumps.
very far from the bat, did it?
But as we've talked about, the Waves have been good in the field. Plenty of energy, good field settings, taking their catches, and also executing some run-outs. So,
Yeah, 2 catches in a run-out for Harune Iwasaki. Very much in the game. Gandhi Jafta's a little bit stranded at the moment. She hasn't been able to have much of an impact on this innings. She's going to be joined by the Eagles' other overseas star, Lemon Chung, top scored in the first game. Wasn't able to contribute much yesterday.
I
And
feel
they needed a trip in now because at 34 for 4. They're in a bit of trouble. 35 for 4, I think that should be.
Yeah, Gandhi Jafta, she's seems to have been out here for a while, but having only faced the 8 balls.
Yeah, 1 off 8.
So perhaps a strategy for Eagles just to look to keep rotating that strike, get the more experienced player to face more of the deliveries, especially off this tight bowling from Jess Adams.
Just push another one a little bit wide of off stump. Lemon Chung looking to be aggressive, but nothing doing there. I mean, how do you approach it from here, Garth? Do you say, right, let's just try and knock the ball around and get to 60 or 70, or do you just go on the all-out attack and hope you get a few boundaries away and see if you can get a little bit higher?
Yeah, look, I think, what are we, just 11 overs gone. I'd probably play the next 5, 6 overs just a little bit more conservative. Lemon impressed me in how she batted. I think the first game and how she would move around her wicket, just creating space for herself, whether onside or onside, after analysing the field. Perfect little drop and run. She's picked up probably 4 or 5 runs from just dropping the ball in the middle and easily making it through. So I think perhaps a little bit of low risk cricket, but maybe it'll be interesting to see how they do approach it, especially Gandhi Jafta, experienced cricketer.
Yeah, we did see when Erica Older was batting that this run scoring is possible, right? You know, it shouldn't be that much of a challenge. There are runs on offer. Jafta now feeling a bit of the onus is on her. Try and find the gaps. It's a good shot, but she's picked out the fielder perfectly. Couldn't have hit her better. A bit of frustration.
Yeah.
It's a decent shot. Hit it well. Ogawa just drifting down the leg side, but fielder's in place for that shot. Seikasumi, I think they're at sort of a short long leg. I don't know what you call that. It's not really a fine leg. It's almost a backwards square leg.
Yeah, and she's impressed me as a fielder, someone who shows plenty of energy.
Yeah, good hands. Good arm. Listed to come in at number 4 today, I think, but not sure if we're going to see her bat. The way Carrie Chan has gone about it, a target of 50 or 60 isn't going to be too much. Oh, that's not the best shot, I'm afraid, for Gandhi Jafta. It didn't get up much, but at the same time, ball's just hit middle stump.
Yeah, she walked down the
She's
wicket.
bottom edged it. Bottom edged it onto the middle stump. So Jafta goes. Another low score for her, 1 off 11. Never really got to grips with the bowling, and Megho Gower has a wicket to her name. Dragged onto off stump in the end.
Yeah. Further misery for the Eagles, losing their 5th wicket.
Yeah, 5 down. Let's see who's coming in next. Suspect it'll be Emerson Philsell.
Yes. Who is trying very
Dropped down a bit.
Right.
She started off batting at 5. Hasn't maybe got the runs that she'd have liked. Bowled beautifully, but going to need to try and find some runs now. The long arms, looks like she's enjoys getting bat on ball. See if she can swing a few boundaries to the ropes to make the score a bit more competitive.
Yeah, hopefully she's been observing or talking to fellow teammates about how the pitch is playing. Especially Megho Gower's medium pace. Just her bowling especially is just keeping low off the wicket.
Well, despite the tumbling of wickets, we're actually going much better for time today, Garth. Oh dear. Risky
Safe.
running again, but they've got home.
Lemon Chung backing up well, and she was she's backing up well, although she went to go back to her position, so I can see why that turned out to be a tight run. I'm sure Lemon will look to scoring opportunity here, perhaps eyeing up the gap in the covers or out to long on.
Just left that one alone.
Big stride, and then just let it through to the keeper.
Megho Gower, as we've mentioned before, a product of the Cricket Blast program that Japan Cricket's been running since 2014. Came through the Akashima program, spent a few years playing basketball, but returned to cricket maybe 3 years ago. And yeah, she's putting it through okay today. Coming out all right.
I probably watched Meg for the first time on YouTube when I was in New Zealand, actually watching the Embassy Cup. She was playing for the Anzacs, and I must say her bowling's come on. She's vastly improved, so it's good to see.
Yeah, Australian dad, but born and raised in Japan.
Right.
Cricket's very much been. Her dad was telling me how she never really had any interest in going back to Australia
Right.
until she started playing cricket. And I was like, Dad, can we go back to Australia and watch cricket? Looks like Carrie Chan's got the ball in hand again. Hasn't given much away so far. 2 overs, 2 maidens. 36 for 5 after 12, the Eagles. Emerson Philsell is on strike. Batting a little deeper today, the Eagles, but they're going to need everything they can find. Deep mid-wicket is out, so is long on and long off, and a deep extra cover. So 4 fielders out, despite the fact Carrie Chan hasn't conceded a run yet.
Looks like the plan is to bowl very straight.
Yeah, it seems to be working. It's a change of ends for Carrie Chan.
Inside edge, it scoots fine.
Hasn't missed by much.
Brings Lemon back onto strike. Both batters new to the crease, really, having faced only a handful of balls.
Swung out into the leg side for a single.
Yeah, I think Kerry Chan bowling, I'd be just looking to push the ball around, given the situation of the game. Be happy with 4 or 5 singles, if possible. Perhaps target a different bowler on the team as far as trying to push some boundary shots. This time she's just played it out to square fields, but a comfortable single taken to Phil Sal. And with Lemon on strike, square legs dropping out to deep square. Obviously done their studies on the research on the opposition batters.
Yeah, well, of course, these two know each other pretty well. Carrie Chan and Lemon Chung, long-time Hong Kong teammates. Don't play for the same club team back in Hong Kong. Carrie Chan plays at, I'm going to say, CC Fung Wong. And I think, I better check this, but no, because I could easily be getting this wrong. But, swing there, and she's still getting plenty of turn. Carrie Chan.
Yep. "13 overs gone, 40 for 5.
I was right, yes. Clary Chan plays at Craig and Carroll Cricket Club, which is otherwise known as FC Fung Wong, I believe. Whilst Lemon plays at Hong Kong Cricket Club. So yes, rivals back on the domestic scene and rivals here on the Japanese domestic scene. But teammates for the Hong Kong women's team. Meg Ogawa is going to get a 3rd over today. She's having a good bowl. She's going well. Scores up to 40. Thudded into the pad as Emerson Phil Sells tried to turn that around the corner. Quick look on the replay. Yes, going down leg side. No danger. The finger going up on that one. O'Gara in again. Emerson Phil Sell picks out the short mid wicket. No run. What's defendable then, Garth? 70? 80?
I think you'd want 80, to be honest.
As a minimum, really,
when I think of that batting lineup the Waves have.
Yeah, Carrie Chan remains key in that batting lineup, doesn't she? Well, that might drop over. Yeah, it's just over the top of backward square leg. They only get a single. I think there was probably 2 on offer there. A little bit lucky. You could say it's a little bit lucky that it didn't land in the fielder's hands. A little bit unlucky it didn't fly away to the boundary. Just didn't quite get enough on it. Seikasumi in action again. Lemon Chung back on strike. If you can beat those 2 on the leg side, it's going to be a boundary, I suspect, because mid-wicket's pretty straight.
Shot.
It's gone offside. Could just be another single. The sweeper on the offside, Ruan Kanai, it looks like. One as a sub-fielder, throws that back in.
So you had the women's sponsors here, team sponsors here yesterday, Alan. How did that go?
Yeah, Mitsui Knowledge Industries were here. MKI, fantastic partner for the Japan women's cricket team. Had about 40 or 50 of them, a few kids. Come and enjoy the day, watch the cricket. We had Yuto Sato, one of the JCA staff, explaining the game to them. He'd got this thing mocked up. Hard to kind of explain what it was, really. A cardboard cutout with a pitch in the middle. You could move the batter up and down, and he painted on the fielders, and he had another thing where you could move the ball around. So he was explaining to everyone what that was. It's hard to really describe the contraption he made, but I think it worked. No ball called and a free hit for Phil Sell. Well, she went after it.
I'm sure
No contact.
Having the explanation as well as watching the cricket live would have, I hope they would have gained an understanding.
Yeah, as a partnership, they've been really keen to not just give us some money and send us on our way. They want to engage. They've used Sano City as a workation venue where some of their staff have come up here and spent a couple of weeks working in Sano, away from the city, out in the countryside, in the fresh air, and just finding a place to work. Sometimes it's been in the tea room here at the SICG, but I think there's a few alternative workspaces in town that they've used as well. Something they've offered their staff.
It's a great concept, and it was great to see some of the children down there playing the game of cricket, some backyard cricket, the bats and equipment that they had down there. I was impressed, considering it was probably around 33, 34 degrees.
Yeah, plenty of energy on the show from those lot. So, 43 for 5 with 6 overs remaining. Carrie Chan bowling her final over. And that's a decent shot, just lifted over mid-off. Long off is there. So, like it's short extra cover, that position that Harino Iwasaki's in. She's taken 2 catches in the run out, so it's working. From the angle we're on, it kind of we're kind of out fine leg from this end, so maybe she looks a bit straighter than she actually is. Into the leg side, another single. Carrie Chan conceded this 4 runs in the previous over, which she might be offended by after the first 2 overs of maidens. That was there to go, I think. 3 fielders out on the leg side. A long off, the other boundary rider. Those fielders are all pretty close to each other. We're changing the field now. Square legs coming, long leg is, deep square leg, sorry, is coming into a more orthodox square leg position. So just 2 fielders out now. That's clipped to mid wicket for a single.
This is better. I like the intent.
Yeah, run a ball now.
Yep. I've just gone back to looking through the overs. Haven't gone for a lot lately. The big over, of course, 15 runs coming from over 4 when Erica Older had smashed
6 and a 4 in that over, didn't she? Aggression again, but just a single. But this is fine, and this shows that the way that Carrie Chan bowls the left arm spinner, if she drops a little bit short, and there are runs there, and it's very similar to what we saw yesterday from Maya Nagida, actually. She was very, very slow in that first 10, but in the second 10, it did get easier to find the gaps, and once you've been in for a while, that should become evident. It hasn't happened for the Eagles today. We've seen a couple of players bat a lot of balls for not a lot of runs. Inase Gotol at the top of the order was an obvious one, and Gandhi Jafta never quite got going either, but these two just building something. Trying to get something for
bit of a
the bowlers to defend.
Smile then from Carrie Chan, who almost run out teammate Lemon under her leg. She just flicked it back onto the stumps, but Lemon was wise and onto that, safely home. Bit of play between the 2 national teammates. Good to see.
Looks like Elena Kasuda-Nan's back into the attack. Oh, hello. That's high in the air. Sei Kasumi. Oh, she's just dropped it. We've been talking up her hands and they're catching all day long. Yeah. And it was looked to swing it into the leg side. It looked like a top edge or toe of the bat, perhaps. Just
from our angle, I thought she'd hit it beautifully.
I thought she'd hit it miles, yeah, at first.
Just, I guess, backward square leg came round and just
Made the ground okay.
yeah.
Perhaps just took her eye off it at the last moment. Elena just losing her line down leg side. Wide called. Oh, that's full, and that's very nearly got through the defence of Emerson Filsell.
Not for the first time.
It's a good delivery.
Elena has cover on the boundary out at deep cover, long off, long on, and deep square. Just drifting a little wide. Yet to find her radar. Just measuring out her run up. Warm conditions here in Sano. 33 degrees. Probably feels warmer out there in the middle though, Alan.
Yeah, I'm sure it will do. Certainly when I was out there this morning putting out the boundary rope, we had to bring it in from the T10s yesterday. It was very noticeable how much hotter it is in the sun. Having had that overnight rain, there's a bit of moisture coming back up off the ground again, which there wasn't yesterday because we had a bit more dryness. And yesterday was probably optimal conditions. It's just driven behind square and it's through. Come back for a second, I think. Lena Kasunen there, just struggling a little with her line in this over. Bowled 3 wides, that probably would have been another one. But bad on ball. Squirted away, a couple of runs. Past 50 now. These last 5 overs going to be really... Oh, that's full, and that should
Shot.
go. That is going to go to the boundary. A much-needed and long-awaited boundary for the Eagles. Emerson Filsell gets the applause from her tent.
Yeah, cleanly struck, wasn't it? And deep mid-wicket coming round. It was a deep square, but had no chance. Well struck. And as you say, Alan, a much-needed boundary for the Eagles. Let's hope that can start the momentum of a good finish here for them. Put a competitive total on the board.
Look to repeat the trick, but it's a good comeback from Kasunen. Full. Almost Yorker length, so. No runs from that delivery. Tell you what, she was grateful she got a bit of bat in that. And that's a repeat of the shot from a couple of balls earlier. Fielder will cut this one off. She'd come a little bit squarer.
Yeah.
Just a single that time. But a useful over in the end.
Yeah, good awareness of that square leg, just moving round a bit squarer, whether that was from the captain or... Certainly saved the boundary there, saved 3 runs.
Yeah, still 11 from the over, so best over in some time for the Eagles. With 4 overs to go, up at 59 now. 24 balls. They go run a ball here, Garth, and they do make it up to 80, 85. Give themselves half a chance. The key will really come with those extras we talked about.
Yeah. That's it.
They'll be desperate for a win, the Eagles, I know. Coach Ru Holiday doesn't like losing games. He will be very keen to get a win, particularly when it's his understudy as assistant coach for the women's team in the other locker room. But Hilya Chandal's back on. She won't be easy to get away. They've taken the single. Filsell was a little slow, ball watching a little bit, but a very clear call from Lemon Chung. So it's another single, and they're up to 60.
And fair enough, too. A good call from Lemon, calling a partner through.
Yeah, that doubles the amount of runs that Chandal has conceded so far in this match.
Shot, straight, driven, just for a single. Long off coming round to field that. Chandal's bowling so accurate, Alan. It almost can fall in favour of the batter, knowing that where the ball is going to pitch and the line, and just being able to perhaps manipulate that with your footwork.
Yeah, absolutely. If you got to be brave at this stage in the innings, swing your arms.
I think I'd be walking down the wicket and just looking to drive. Not easily done though, and her figures have certainly shown that, not only in today's match but the previous 2 days.
Yeah, long on's quite wide, so if you can hit cleanly back over the bowler's head, that's where the chances of runs can come. Any width as well. Huge gap. There's no fielder on the boundary from deep cover all the way around to square legs, so anything behind square is a boundary option, but Chandal's not giving much.
Yeah, that's it. She's from memory, she's barely bowling anything that hasn't been straight. Aiming in at middle, off stump, fourth stump.
She'll hate not getting any wickets ahead of Chandal, but she should be thrilled with the way that she's bowling. I mean, 3 overs for 3 runs in the T20 game. Outstanding stuff.
Yeah, and just as you say, you know, no wickets in games 1 or 2 either, but only going off both games. She bowled the allotted 4 overs, no wicket for 10, no wicket for 6. She's certainly contributing to the team and creating pressure. Bowling at the better batters as well. She's a very handy bowler and hopefully have a long future in Japanese women's cricket. Jess Adams with the ball, the other end, the school end.
And that's lofted into the onto the leg side, just lands safe.
Yeah, the boundary riders unable to make that a catchable opportunity. To run in 15 metres or so to gather that. An appeal from Jess Adams, but umpire unmoved. So on strike, 14 off 23. It's a good contribution. That one just staying low. Looking to play onto the onside. As a result of it staying low, it becomes a risky shot. There is protection out on the boundary at deep cover and long off. This is just...
That, again, it's just over the head of Sei Kasumi, but not quite enough bat on it to go away to the boundary.
Yeah, good running
for
this
2.
time. Yep. And support coming from the changing shed, the tent, the Eagles tent. They know how valuable each run is, and realistically they do want to get up to around 80 to be able to defend it. So Canella 4 dot balls, and that extra will help. I thought Phil Sower just actually let that go through, but wide of the line, and a much needed extra for the Eagles' cause. This time turned onside.
Well, that's her area, isn't it?
It is.
I think that's where all of her runs have come so far, but she's doing a really, really good job for her team. She's up to 17 not out now, and typical that it would happen when she's dropped lower down the order, isn't it?
Yeah, it is, Alan, and yeah, it is Who knows what score will be enough on this wicket. It hasn't played as well as it has in yesterday's game. So, as mentioned, every run vital here, as it was from the start. But I think there's only just over 2 overs, 1 ball remaining in this over. And in the end, no run taken. Lobbed over both bowler and very straight mid-off. .66 for 5 after 18, so 2 overs remaining here.
Jess Adams going to bowl 1 more of them. She's got 2 for 10 again, so plenty of power in the Waves bowling lineup. It's really been on display out here again. Bit of chat between batter and fielder there. Emerson Philsell's back on strike.
Yeah, they'll be hoping for a big over, the Eagles, but not easy to take Chandal for runs. Every
run matters, doesn't it, at this point? That's going to be caught.
And that's caught. And
is that Harun Iwasaki again? Oh, she's just a 3rd catch plus a run out. Very active.
Well, Chandal will be thrilled to take her wicket finally. Much deserved over her series of bowling. Again, probably Philsell just looking to score somehow, somewhere, and end up hitting that straight to mid-off. Takes a comfortable catch. 66 for 6 now. And applause here for Philsell's innings. Just creating a bit of momentum for the Eagles. Certainly needed. Erica Toguchi-Quinn is the new batter for the Eagles.
Yeah, she contributed a few yesterday, didn't she?
Yeah. And in game 1, she's certainly got a good technique. This will be a good challenge facing Chandal.
Yeah, 11 balls to go. Any run's going to count that they can get here. Chandal will be delighted to finally have 1 in the wicket column, won't she?
Yes, very deserved wicket for her. Toguchi-Quinn just looking around the wicket where space is, where runs can be taken. Called through, this will be close. Direct hit would have been short. Called through from the non-striker. May have been short to Toguchi-Quinn, but we can understand why Lemon called her through. Only 9 balls remaining. Just struck out to mid wicket for no run. Perhaps eyeing up the onside as Lemon Chung for possible boundary. She'd have to go over square, behind square. She's gone out to mid wicket and caught. Yeah, just didn't get a hold of it, but hit high on the bat, and comfortable catch there taken from, I think, my Yanagida, perhaps. And what is another wicket for Chandel? Coming thick and fast now for her.
Yeah, got a couple. Those figures looking pretty good suddenly.
So Lemon Chung returns to the changing shed out court. 8 of her 16, but along with Fiesel, created a bit of momentum with a partnership there.
Yeah, 67 for 7 now.
Oh,
not sure what's happened.
Given. Look, I took my eyes off it when it was in the keeper's gloves, but the keeper underarmed it for so no.
Yeah, that's a stumping. Well, I think she thinks it's over. I think we've got a
Johnny Bairstow
a
situation.
Johnny Bairstow, Alex
No.
Carey situation. She thinks it's over. Who is that batter? I need to double check. That's Srinali Renade.
Yeah.
And I think they have retracted the appeal, and she will be allowed to continue. Good sporting behaviour. That's the way the game should be played, isn't it, Garth?
Yes. Wow.
Very
Now, hang about.
Very clearly thought it was over.
In this series, yes.
I don't like to see wickets falling by people capitalising on a misunderstanding.
Across in England, I think it was fair play, to be honest, from the Australians.
They've capitalised on a misunderstanding. There's no way that they didn't think he thought it was over.
Yeah, let's not go there. Let's focus on this game.
Krumiota back onto the attack for the final over. Well, there was a run there, confusion, and out this time. Well, that was some of the worst running I've seen over the weekend. Yes, no, yes, no, yes, no. And another wicket goes down. Erica Quinn clearly wanted the single. I think the run was there, but Srinali stayed where she was. Can't blame the language barrier on that one. That's another wicket for the Eastern Waves. And as we get into the last 5 deliveries, it's a question of whether or not the Eagles will bat the full 20. 8 down now. These last 5 balls, just want to try and find something. Nonoha Yasumoto on the new batter. She hasn't batted yet. Left-hander.
Yeah, again, another example of the Eastern Waves fielding unit. It was nice pick up and return, another run out. They've been good in the field. I can only think of today only. There's just the one missed opportunity, one dropped catch. But other than that, they've been good. Especially also the aggressive field settings, Alan.
Yeah, even now, just 2 out. That one tried to turn that down the leg side, but just hit into the ground and straight through to the keeper. They won't be needing a net run rate boost, the Eastern Waves, when they chase this, but I suspect they'll be keen to get after it and get this game done early. Not too far off the time. Supposed to be 75 minutes. We're up at 85 now, so 10 minutes behind. We'll factor in those extras and the falls of the wickets, of course. And Nonoha Yasumoto is trying to paddle that into the leg side, but she's not in the side for her batting.
Right.
Yep. Right. much more there for her bowling.
Uh-huh.
Oh, just checking the comments again. We've got Dave's come on. Dave Bodnarazek. Sorry if I've butchered your name there, Dave. Delving into Japan cricket for the first time. Good to have you. Member of the European Cricket Network.
Nice.
Yeah, we've been keeping an eye on the European Cricket Network. Plenty of good stuff going on there.
And bowled.
Kurumi Ota adding another one into her tally. First of the day today, but she's always a bowler who picks up a wicket. As we mentioned earlier, one of Japan women's leading wicket takers. Always targets the stumps. Yasumoto really just swinging the bat and hoping she makes contact more than anything else.
Yeah,
In that instance, she didn't. The experience, the nous of Kurumi Ota was a bit too much for her. Palak Gundecha, the number 11. He's going to have one ball to face. Youngster, just 16. Talented young player, more of a bowler, again in the side for a bowling. I've seen her play some junior cricket. She can swing the bat, actually.
Well,
I might have had her ahead of Nonaha if I was the coach.
she has one ball to face.
There's one ball to show what she can do. Just one run from this over so far, and that was the wide.
Yeah, good momentum for the Waves going into the innings break.
Wide called again, so the target will be at least 70. Trinale Renade has just watched proceedings from the other end.
Yeah, backing, looking ready to back up and try and push a single.
Bad
Whatever
on
is
ball,
the
and they'll
result.
get one by the looks of things. So a single for Palak. She'll finish one not out. And the score ends on 70 for 9 at the end of the 20 overs. Target will be 71 for the Waves. Suspect they'll go out pretty hard on that. Should we do a quick recap of the scorecard, Garth? You've got it in front of you. Top of the order, Hinase Goto was bowled by Jess Adams for 3 of 27, which says a lot about how the innings got off to a start. But Erika Oda went much, much better. 18 off 19 with 2 fours and 1 6. Her dismissal caught Haruna Iwasaki, bowled by Elena Kasuda there, and really sparked a bit of a collapse as Gandhi Jafta just made 1, 2 for Shimako Kato. Minami Yoshioka was run out for a single. Lemon Chung and Emerson Phil Sell put on a bit of a partnership. Chung was eventually caught by Mai Yanagida to give it to Helia Chandal her first scalp. She made 8. Emerson Phil Sell a well-made 17 from 28. She was also caught by Iwasaki, was really active in the field. She's taken 3 catches as well as facilitated the run-out. Mai Yanagida was the fielder who ran out Erika Toguchi Quinn. She took a catch as well, Mai. Toguchi Quinn made just 1. Trinale Renade was not out. Nonaha Yasumoto was not as well, bowled by Kurumi Ota, and Palak Kundecha not out for a single off 1 ball. Hilia Chandal, the pick of the bowlers, 2 for 4 from her 4 overs, with 1 maiden. Kurumi Ota, 1 for 19 from 3. Elena Kasuda Nairn, 1 for 20 from 3. Carrie Chan, 4 overs, 2 maidens, 0 for 9. Jess Adams with another 2 wickets to her name. Didn't bowl her full allocation today, but still made 2 for 10. And Meg Ogawa bowled pretty nicely as well. 3 overs, 1 for 6. And still 15 wides in the innings and the 1 no ball. So the Eagles grateful for those extra runs. We'll be back in about 10 to 15 minutes to see how the Waves get on in the chase and if they can wrap this series up 3-0. Thanks, Garth.
Cheers, Alan.
Okay, welcome back, everybody. The last hurrah of the inaugural Women's Japan Premier League. Emerson Philsell has the ball in hand. Made a few runs earlier on in the day, 17. She's bowled pretty well throughout this tournament. Hasn't maybe got the wickets she deserves. Looked pretty dangerous yesterday with the ball in hand, I reckon. Two batters are out there. Got to try and work out who we've got. That looks like Akari Nishimura. Facing up at the far end. She's down to come in at 6 on the piece of paper I've got, but they may have recalibrated. Definitely Amogalang Mafangula at the non-striker's end. It could be Haruna Iwasaki. She was penciled in to come at 1, so find out in a moment. Just a little far away and we can't see the shirt numbers. Yeah, looks like it's gone in. Looks like Haruna Iwasaki has been sent into open, so looking to go out on the attack today. This was a plan regardless of what they were chasing. Haruna Iwasaki has not quite got the runs that she would have liked in this tournament so far, but an aggressive player, player of the year last season, I believe, in the Japan women's scene. And she will be hoping to get a few away today. Looking at the field, you're the third man and a deep square leg, really. The two fielders out for Philsell.
Yeah, she's got good heat, Emerson Philsell. I was just looking at third man thinking, yeah, I'd like you a bit finer, thanks. One skips off the edge, beats the keeper for buys.
It's
The
nice.
pace that she bowls
Oh,
at will certainly run away to the boundary quickly.
It's been called wide, that one. Slightly late call, but they are definitely being stricter today. Driven straight and now scamper through for the single. That'll bring Amogalang Mafangula on strike. She hasn't really made much of an impact with the bat either in this tournament. So she will be pretty keen. Just bowled the 1 over, run out in the first game and hit one up in the air yesterday.
Yeah, just
Trying
scores
to
of
attack.
just scores of 1 and 4 in the previous 2 games. So you're right.
She's opened in all 3 matches, so she'll be hoping to make a contribution. That is a great shot.
Start.
That is absolutely smeared through the covers, and that will run away for 4. First of the innings. Mafangula's already matched her best score.
Yeah, lovely shot that through the
Good looking
covers.
shot, that one.
Yeah, as you say, should be looking to dine out in this final match before getting on a plane, I imagine.
Yeah, the South African girls fly out tomorrow evening. They're the last to leave. They fly out around 10 p.m, I believe. They're going to have a bit of time in Narita at the Narita town. Naoki Kurihara will be giving them a lift to the airport. The others, I think, are mostly heading into Tokyo after this game. Quick shower back at their lodgings and then 24 hours in Tokyo town. Who would say no to that, Garth?
That will be fun. Good on them. When you come all this way to play cricket, it's great to be able to take in the sights and sounds of Tokyo, which will be a
Yes.
buzz.
Very much this trip hasn't just been about the cricket for the girls who've come from overseas. It's been about experiencing with Japan as well. They had the 5 days in the middle. Plenty of them have been out. Jess Adams was up in Sendai. She's got a pen pal that she went to visit up there. I know that Ayakata Stafford has been off seeing family up north as well. A lot of the girls have been into Tokyo and the surrounding areas.
Went to visit a pen pal. That's great to hear from someone
good's
of
that,
my generation.
Yeah.
I never knew they still existed, but that's how good is that? Emerson's come back well after that boundary 4. Good heat through to the keeper there, signalling the end of the over. 7 without loss.
Yeah, it's a good start for the Waves. 2 batters both looking to be aggressive. Iwasaki not quite middling anything yet, but certainly looks determined to get a move on. These two won't die wondering, I suspect. Now, Garth, one thing I haven't told you is that you are on the panel for choosing the individual award winners.
Oh,
Yeah. So, batter, bowler, MVP.
thanks for the warning.
As the only non-player or umpire who's been here for all 3 games.
Okay.
Our Japanese co-commentators have rotated and done just 2 matches each.
Sorry, what was the award?
So best batter, best bowler and MVP. So yeah, we like to try and spread those awards around if we can, rather than give them all to one player.
Yep.
Certainly there's a couple of clear favourites in terms of runs scored and wickets taken.
Yes.
Now then, Shimako Kato has the ball in hand and she is going to run in and bowl. I think it would have made a big difference if she could have bowled more in this tournament to the Waves, for the Eagles, sorry. And she's started with a dot. Just pushing Mokalang onto the back foot there. Shimako Kato trying to prove her fitness. Selection that we made for the Japan women's team, who have a World Cup qualifier of their own in just about 6 weeks' time. Kato will be keen to show that she's match fit and able to bowl. Looks like she's bowling a bit quicker than yesterday. Called wide on that one.
It's a good ball, that one.
Yeah, when she gets it right, she's a handful. No doubt about that.
Yeah. Again, beating the batter. Yeah, so just as you were mentioning, carrying an injury, so not having a bowl in the first game and only bowling 1 over in the second game. So let's hope the back feels okay and she can push through to bowling her allotted 4 overs. The Eagles certainly need her skill set. And just past short cover there. They come back for 2. Short cover unable, almost a bounce. Just bounced past her. A good start here from Kato. That one just dies a little in the pitch. She looks to be in no discomfort, so that's good news.
Yeah, she seems fine, doesn't she, at the moment?
Really could do with a good start here, the Eagles, protecting a relatively subpar score.
That is in the air. That's going to be over the top. Fielder's after it. It's not going to go to the boundary. Again, more aggression. Afangula getting hold of that one.
Yeah, and good running from her. She was back for a second quickly. Always like to see batters run that first single hard before turning and making a decision. Comfortable 2 there for the Eastern Waves, who 12th without loss after the 2 overs, so not chasing a huge total, only needing the 71 for victory. So
yeah, just needing 3.3 and over. It's not too much to ask, is it? 5 from that one. Phil Sell is going to go. I mean, if you're the captain of the bowling team here, Garth, how do you approach it? Do you say to your top bowlers, right, you might have to bowl your 4 overs straight up, because there's no point in their best bowlers ending up with overs unbowled, but at the same time, if it gets tight,
yep.
you want them them left. I personally might be inclined to maybe give Phil Self 3 overs at the top here.
Yeah, I like your thinking. Definitely I'd be looking at perhaps giving them 3, of course.
Oh.
Fine leg is a bit finer, and we'll cover that. So it's just a single.
Another thing just to throw out to you, Garth. Erika Taguchi-Quinn has dismissed Haruna Iwasaki in both matches so far, bowling at her in the power play with Iwasaki coming in the middle order. You'd be tempted to bring her on early for the matchup?
Yeah. Always like to see a matchup, but yeah, I think I just learned from the first innings and how the Waves bowled.
That is up, but not going to carry. Oh, trouble. They threw to the wrong end.
Shame.
Just not alert enough there in the field. That was Palak Gandecha.
Yeah.
Not just
If
keeping
I'm
her
good, it
eyes
was
up.
She was a long way down the wicket, wasn't she?
I think she was in trouble if that throw goes to the correct end. A little bit of responsibility on the keeper. Probably needs to be a bit louder. That said, pick up and throw to the keeper's end should be an automatic, if you ask me. It's actually one of my pet hates in Japan. You hear a lot of people shouting, bowler, bowler, bowler. It's like, stop it. Only shout that if it's absolutely dead set, run out is on.
Yep. And perhaps only having one in the field, one of the fielders make that call, rather than 2 or 3 voices, which often confuse a fielder.
That's a good shot. It's going to be a chase on the boundary. The fielder just gets there.
Yeah, well done.
Good bit of fielding.
Makes contact with the ball, then
Candy.
slides on to the rope, but had no contact, so yeah, well saved.
Gandhi Jafta, the fielder out there in the deep.
Into the over 15 without loss after 3. So a bit of a comeback there for the Eagles. As you were talking about earlier, Alan, what would my tactics be? I think learning from the first innings, the pitch and how it's playing, I think pace off makes it really difficult for the batsman to create runs. If you've got the correct field, if you can bowl a good line, perhaps wicket to wicket, we're very... I noticed that the Waves had a close mid-on, mid-off, that were in the eye line, quite straight, both of them. And pace off, I know Meg Ogawa was difficult to get away today. I'll just try and...
She might not like hearing you say that, Garth. She'll consider herself
Sorry, Meg.
out-and-out pace bowler.
Yeah, well, I tell you what, there's always... pace off can often contribute on pitches as like this today.
That is in the air. That should be a catch.
Taken.
Pouched. So there's the breakthrough. Shimako Kato has her first wicket. Haruna Iwasaki flattered to deceive a little bit in this tournament. It's a shame for her, but good intent though, and on some days she'll get enough behind that to clear it. Just trying to see who the catcher is. Safe hands.
Yeah, but I was just noticing when Ogawa was bowling, it was a good field, in close, attacking the batsman. And, yeah, difficult to score runs if your bowling is on line and length. So, critical. But it's going to be a tough ask for the Eagles in limiting, defending 70 runs. Not impossible. That wicket will certainly help.
Just got to make it as hard as possible, haven't you? I think.
Yeah, you got to push it as deep as possible, and often, if you can bowl 1, 2, 3 overs, limiting the runs to 2 or 3, it's amazing how that run rate can pop up, which in turn itself creates pressure for the batting team.
So a new batter is Carrie Chan. No surprise, see her walk out at number 3. Plenty of runs to her name in this tournament already, and she will be the key, you feel? If there's any way Eagles are going to win this game, they need to remove her cheaply. She's been by far and away the standout batter on either side, comfortably leading the runs
Yes.
scorers charts.
Yes.
And in line for one of those awards, I'd say, Garth, probably.
Yes, I'm just. I don't think she'll be challenged by any of the Eagles who batted earlier. In terms of runs, Erica Older will be.
She got up to around 50 for the
15.
tournament, I think.
Yeah, so probably Erica sitting in second place currently, but as you say, Kerry Chan out there with 83 after the first two games, going at an average of, what's that, 41 and a bit. A key wicket here for the Eagles. She's used her feet well, is what also earlier I talked about how Shun had talked to her about how she's approached batting on this wicket.
That is up in the air again. Catch is, just a bit slow coming forward. Maybe didn't quite pick that up, possibly lost it in the sun, didn't realise quite where it was going. Didn't go as far as the Iwasaki opportunity.
Yeah, the initial movements were backwards. I guess it sounded good, and actually I thought it had cleared the fielder, but initial moving backward and then forward. But
Mafangula not reining in her instincts though. Kato to Chan.
also the sun would have been perhaps in her eyes there, Alan, just looking at the over.
Yeah, quite possibly.
Conditions.
Which makes that first catch a decent one, but not a lot of the girls, you may have noticed, particularly the Japanese girls, wear sunglasses in the field. Don't know if you've ever noticed that. Something I've noticed a lot, and I just do wonder why not.
Exactly. I notice it in society, to be honest.
Yes.
Just walking around cities in Japan.
Any chance to put my
It's-
sunnies on, Garth? They're on my face.
I guess having mostly brown, black eyes, it's less. I guess my eyes are more sensitive. That's what one student told me when I asked and inquired about how Japanese don't often wear sunglasses in public.
Well, I've got dark eyes, Garth, and I like I said, can't get enough of my sunnies. That's a decent shot out into the offside. Bit uppish, but safe enough. Just a single.
Is there an element of Japanese gangsters wearing sunglasses?
Maybe. Maybe that's it. I know. I'm not sure you're going to mistake too many of our players for gangsters, but never you might.
But you're right in talking about the eyewear that cricketers can purchase. It's amazing how it accentuates colours between greens and reds. I know I've borrowed my son's sunglasses at times for my over 40s league cricket, and it certainly does make a difference. It helps, and it protects the eyes in the long run.
Yeah, well, that's the biggest thing about it, isn't it? The glare. I remember I was at the 2007 Cricket World Cup in the Caribbean, and I turned up one morning and I'd forgotten my sunglasses. I had to leave the ground and run to a nearby shop and get something because, and of course I wear glasses as well, so I had to wear them over the top of my glasses. But the glare was I couldn't watch the game.
True.
It was too painful.
Yeah.
Even after an hour. Nono Yasumoto is into the attack. She's asked questions throughout this tournament. I overheard Coach Dino picking his team this morning, and he was saying, well, first name on the team sheet, Nono Yasumoto. Possibly for Japan as well, and Mafangula's just bottom edge that into her pads. No run, doesn't give much away. Nonoha. Really impressed in the East Asia Cup out in China. That is in the air
Shot.
again. That's going to go, though. Beats the infield very easily. Races away to the boundary.
We're seeing the quality that Mafangula has in terms of her skill set with the bat on this final day. It was a lovely shot.
Yeah, clearly able to hit boundaries, isn't she? Doesn't look inhibited, doesn't look nervous anymore. Probably would have been a bit of that for some of these players from overseas coming in. You have to bear that in mind. Mafangula's just 19 years old. Everyone's looking to her as this sort of professional player from South Africa and huge expectations on her. I'm sure she really wants to do well. Perhaps that pressure got a little bit the better of her in the first couple of games. She looks pretty much at ease today, and that's an easy single. Pressure on the fielder leads to it being even more comfortable.
And
So
foreign conditions as well, Alan. Probably,
course.
perhaps the first game she's played abroad, but as we know, cricket pitches are different wherever you are in the world.
Indeed, it was her first time leaving South Africa, she told me, when she arrived, so very much new experience for the young South African.
Well, I look forward to watching her career over the coming years.
Dave Bodnar-Isaac's back in the comments, congratulating me on getting his name right, so well done me, pat on the back. An Englishman living in France. I'm sorry to hear that, Dave, but at least you'll get to enjoy the Rugby World Cup later in the year.
Living in France, well, lucky thing.
He tells me he's gone, so he's not even listening. Yeah, you say lucky thing. It really depends where in France you're living, because the French have been somewhat riotous of late.
Yeah.
I think even more so than usual.
Not afraid to riot, are they?
If you're down on the Riviera, I think that would be nice. I did, you got to admire the French. They put the retirement age up to like 63 or something, and absolute mayhem. They were not having it. Protests across the land. Good on them, the French. Carrie Chan showing her aggression. That's over the top of mid-off. Now it'll go away for another boundary. So these two looking to take the game away from the Eagles and get this game done quickly. At this point, funnily enough, the scores are pretty similar with where the Eagles were, because it was inside the power play that Erica Oda was going pretty well. But if these two stay in for any period of time, this game could be done inside 15 overs, I suspect. The Eagles have got to find a way to dislodge one, if not both of them. Oh, hello. There we go. That's one done. Carrie Chan pinned on the crease. I'm not sure if that's bowled or LBW. I've saw the finger go up, so I reckon that's an LBW.
I think bowled.
It has, yes. Come off the pads and onto the stumps. Not sure the finger needed to go up. Tricked me, umpire Sukwal. Carrie Chan's back in the hutch, so a great comeback after being lofted over the top for 4 of the previous ball. Nona Yasumoto has her revenge and finishes that 5th over with the Waves 28 for 2 and the dangerous Carrie Chan. Her tournament is done.
Yeah.
Tournament that she's done particularly well in. But a ray of hope now.
Well, we were just talking before how those two, if they stay together for 3-4 overs, the game would have been all over. A quick finish, but how quickly the game of cricket can change, and a wicket there. Of course, the Eagles would dearly love to take Carrie Chan's wicket as well. Sorry, Mafangula's wicket. She's going along nicely at 18 off 19 balls, but taking Carrie Chang's wicket, well,
a rare low score.
It is a rare low score, and the Eagles will be thrilled with that. Has that opened the door?
The new batter is Seika Sumi, who hasn't batted in the tournament yet.
Right.
So, mentioning earlier, she's penciled to come in at 4, and here she is. Jess Adams is next in, so giving themselves a little bit of leeway, the Waves, with batters to come. Jess Adams and Mai Yanagida and Akali Nishimura are all still in the hutch, so there's plenty of options down the order. Gandhi Jafta getting the ball in hand, following that spell from Shimako Kato.
I think Jafta could be very dangerous on this wicket, and hopefully for the Eagles, she'll continue to tighten the screws and create wicket opportunities.
Yeah, if they're going to win this game, they need to take 10 wickets, don't they, Garth? So they've got 2, they've got the big one, but 8 more to go. Won't be easy. Oh, goodness, well, that's going to get called. So no ball to start with. Waist high full toss.
Yeah, and lucky not to be dispatched, really. It played straight out to square leg.
Yeah, just picked out the fielder. Umpire's arm was straight out, so a free hit. squirms through a sliding fielder, and they get back. They don't get back for 2, just a single. Brings Seikasumi on strike for the first time. Seikasumi made her debut earlier this year for Japan. Very capable batter, but still learning the game. One of the players who hails from Sendai. Terrific hand-eye coordination, but yet to really translate to runs in the middle from what we've seen. But cricketer with rich potential. Just needs to try and realise that game sense is so important for the Japanese players. And Gandhi Jafta with the ball in hand has plenty of that.
Yeah, I'm just wondering, have we seen Sumi in the previous 2 games back?
She played in the first game but didn't get a bat.
Right.
And she sat out yesterday. Oh, it's not missed by much. Another wicket here. 30 would make it 30 for 3. You know, that old adage they used to say in Test cricket, Garth, add 2 wickets to the score.
True. Yeah.
You kind of feel like that now, don't you?
Oh,
there we go.
Yes. Well called,
Alan.
Alan.
It was coming. Jafta just making sure she hits the top of the stumps. The old top of off, and at 30 for 3. Just a hint of pressure coming on to the waves.
Yeah.
That's a nice. That's turned quite a lot. Hit top of the leg stump in the end, I think.
Yeah. Look, this wicket is well suited to Gandhi Jafta's bowling, I feel, and as I say, her 3 overs remaining will be. Will certainly, I think she'll bowl through.
Yeah, bowling in the power play today.
Do you believe Jess Adams will be making her way to the wicket?
I'd be surprised if it's anyone else.
It's just perhaps to ease the feeling of pressure being exerted by the Eagles. Great to see them taking some early wickets. They just, as my co-commentator mentioned, they just need to keep doing so. Probably, if this game goes the full length, the Waves will get up and win the series 3-0. But be great to see the Eagles fight back here and
they're showing a bit of fight right now, aren't they?
They
still,
are.
Still not as much noise as I would have liked.
Yeah.
You know, we saw the Waves, plenty of colour and noise in the field, and I think the Eagles probably leaving a little bit to be desired, but they've got a stronger bowling lineup today. They have their 5 frontline bowlers. They won't be scrambling around as much as they have done in the previous games, so...
Oh, it's a good shout.
Good shout.
And
finger stays in the pocket.
Yeah, we should mention we're not directly behind the wicket here from the commentary box. We're just having a look at the replay, and yeah, I could see that was drifting down.
Maybe a bit high as well, but
you'd refer it, Alan?
I might do. There's a big wicket.
Yes, true.
Maybe umpire's call.
Good over there from Jafta. Just 2 off it, and a wicket, of course.
I guess having started with a waist-high full toss that was called no ball, I feared for her, but she's come back really well. Her bowling has been vital, I think, to the Western Eagles. 3 more overs of that. Toguchi Quinn still has 4 overs up her sleeve. Yasumoto will continue for now. Thought we might get a chance to see the 2 spinners bowling in tandem, but not yet. Yasumoto continues to Mafangula. That is a decent hit. That's gonna go, I reckon. No, the fielder's done well. Hinase Goto down there. Keeps them to 2. It's well fielded. Made the ground, got a body behind it. Those are the kind of things we've seen squirm through a couple of times over the last 2 days, but
good hand eye.
She's done really well there, Hinase Goto.
Yeah, good shot. And Mafangula is just showing us the talent she has. Again, this time going over cover. And strike it as well, just for the single.
Yeah, just chipped, really. I think she's not quite getting into the best position to play that shot. She's ended up sort of throwing her hands away from her body a bit, and that's why it's squirmed up in the air. But I don't think Yasumoto will mind that too much. Jess Adams back on strike, yet to get off the mark.
Yeah, and just...
Well, they haven't run that. There's a single there.
Yeah, interesting. The choice not to take that. Deep cover has just come up onto the circle.
Yeah, just a 2 out still, even though the power play is now done. Third man in the deep mid wicket.
I think, Alan, I'd just like to see perhaps a bit more pressure exerted in the field. Perhaps mid-on or mid-off could come into short.
Yeah, get it under the eyes. Yeah,
Yeah.
we've seen a lot of that from the Waves, and not too much of it from the Eagles. I think that's the captaincy of Ahilia Chandel, perhaps with a few hints and tips from Carrie Chan would be my guess. Well, aggression again. And the fielders combined to stop that. Srinali Renade and Palak Gundicha fielding behind square. Sorry, not behind square at all. Mid-on, mid-off.
Yeah, I'm wondering if Mafangula is just eyeing up that long on space.
Oh, she's played that shot again. The second time she's done that today. Smeared through the covers, 4 runs. Did that for the very first ball. It's obviously a strength, isn't it?
Yeah, it was a cracking shot. And
You see Mafangula and Jess Adams just having a chat in the middle. Mafangula held out the bat for a bat tap, and Jess Adams just knocked it with her glove. And Amokalang has said, no, use your bat. This is how we do it.
well, she moves to 26 now of 24 balls. It's proving to be a big contribution to this run chase.
Yeah, it's 8 off the over, and we talk a lot at national team level. I know the coaches always speak about starting and finishing your overs well, and those boundaries off the last ball, they really hurt what was otherwise a pretty decent over. That required rate's only 2.5. 38 for 3 now off 7 overs.
Yeah, it's
I think although Yasumoto has got the wicket, the big wicket of Carrie Chan, I think we need to see spin from both ends at this point. Wide signalled and extra runs added on.
again just strained down leg. Taken by the keeper, but another extra, something the Eagles can ill afford. She's extracting turn, is Jafta. Just needs to get this line right. This time just swatted out to mid-on. Quick shy from Emerson Fusao, but batter safely home. No field change for Jess Adams, who just pokes it out onto short mid-wicket for no run. Feel they could perhaps exert a bit of pressure here, try and keep taking wickets, and I think there's just...
Yeah, they can't keep giving away extras, can they? You know, when you've got your most experienced bowler bowling wide, it just really hurts you when you're trying to defend such a low score. You've got Mafangula. A lot of that, I guess, will be the pressure that the batters are putting on the bowling side. Jess Adams goes over the top.
Yeah, just
lands safe.
Chipped over mid-wicket, wasn't it? Not for the first time. Jess Adams just plays it out to mid-on. for an easy single. Mid wicket's a bit closer, but I just wonder if they both came up and just took that easy single out of as an option out of her play. She gets back for 2, didn't she? Floats this one, and it's probably a no ball. Head out onto the offside towards the boundary, but long off has come around.
Umpire Thurgate's got his hand out.
It is a no
It's going to
ball.
be a signal.
A free hit.
Chris is always very good with his umpiring. He puts his hand like that, just out at 45.
Yes.
If to tell the scorers that a signal is coming, and then he'll do the full
I like that.
arm extension for the no ball or the wide or whatever else it might be.
Good to know also from the commentator's point of view. Thank you.
You know something's coming. So here's the free hit. Just Adams, just 2 off 8 so far. Hasn't really got going yet. Played a few decent looking shots. Going after that one, it'll be byes. Just the one by. The score moves up to 48 from 8 overs. Eventful over. Fair few extras coming from that. And we saw in there. We had a delivery yesterday, Garth, didn't we? Which caused a bit of debate. The no ball buys that we had. It's been clarified to me overnight that even if a bowler does as Emerson Philsell did, bowls a ball that was very, very wide, but can be called a no ball, whether that's for overstepping or height or whatever, all additional runs will go down as buys or leg buys and not as no balls. So you can no longer bowl 5 no balls.
Right. Okay.
A change in the rules as of last year. I've been sent a screenshot of the MCC laws.
Mm-hmm.
So I stand corrected. I have to apologise to Cricket Clubs, who I've been giving an absolute battering on for not having the capacity to score the game properly. Turns out they were right, I was wrong.
Right.
Who'd have thought?
Oh, good to clarify for our listeners and our cricket nerds out there.
Yeah.
Probably informed and educated a lot
Much
of the
better than we
listeners, myself included.
Erica Quinn's in.
Nice.
She's not got a lot to play with, I'm afraid. Just, what do we need here? An extra 23 runs needed. She's bowled pretty well throughout the tournament.
She has. She's come in usually against batsmen in form and
set players.
Set players.
Bowling against someone who also plays the cricket in Melbourne. Just dotting her up at the moment. Good start.
Good start. Like the action.
Yeah, she's not settled on an end, I've noticed, Erica. She bowled from this end, school end, in the first game, and she bowled mostly from the far end.
Gives
And
that
that's
one
up in the air. Oh, that's unlucky. It could easily have been taken. Could have gone anywhere.
Yeah.
Leading edge, I think. Jess Adams will breathe a sigh of relief that didn't end up in someone's hands.
Yeah, she gave that one a bit more flight and
Dipped nicely, didn't it? She
did and
tried
turned.
to hit it onto the leg side. There's obviously enough turn to force the error. Brings Mafangula back on strike. Again, air, and it's that drive again. Deep covers got that one covered off this time, so just a single hits the stumps
Nice.
from a long way out. Batter was well
Is it
in
Jafta
the
out
ground.
there?
Yeah, it's Gandhi Jafta. She knows where her Titans teammate likes to hit the ball, and she's put herself in the fielding position to cut that off.
Yeah, well, when she set off for the to retrieve that, I thought she had done an injury to her leg, but she looks okay. After she threw it in, she was running okay, but she has got ice out there from a teammate, maybe just a calf. Warm conditions here.
3 games in 3 days. It's
That's
been
a great
that is an
ball.
absolute gem. Well, you can't do much about that. That is pitched around leg stump, and I reckon that's hit the top of off. Erica Taguchi Quinn knocks over Jess Adams. Absolute Jaffa. Look at this on the replay. That has turned a mile.
Classic off spin bowling.
Another Victorian to be proud of that.
Ah, totally. How good. What a great delivery. And
Yeah, Jess Adams won't be able to complain too much about that one. It's obviously gripped well, pitching outside leg stump, hit the top of off.
yeah,
Leg spinner's dream.
yeah, Jess Adams was just looking to defend or perhaps push that onto the onside for no run, but beaten all ends up. And what a delivery. You don't forget those.
4 down the Waves, 50 for 4. 1 ball left in this over. I did feel I might have bowled Taguchi Quinn a little bit earlier.
Yeah,
Garth.
yeah,
I would have
you-
liked to have seen her in the
Yep,
power play.
this could
Well, the leg spinners, no matter what the game situation is, they are wicket takers. Always wicket takers, leg spinners. Yes, they can go for a few runs, but when the pressure's on and you end up prodding and stabbing at the ball a little bit, I think Jess Adams will know that probably needed to use her feet and try and negate the spin, because that was prodigious, wasn't it?
Yes, yeah, it was perfect delivery from the leg spinner, and that'll give her confidence as well.
New batter's not out there yet, taking her time. Wonder if there's a bit of confusion about who's coming in next. I suspect it'll be Akari Nishimura.
My clock watch says 2 minutes 23, so still time.
We'll see a big appeal for timed out in a moment.
Just joking, I don't have a watch on that. But as you say, very good umpires here and experienced umpires in Mr. Thurgate and
And the Vipin Sukwal, both part of the JCA umpire panel. I wonder if
Yes.
they've taken the drinks break and over early,
right.
because Ardeen Ruhode is out there speaking to his team. The Waves coach isn't out there, so I'm not quite sure what's happening. The umpires don't seem in any hurry to get the game restarted. There's no second batter coming out to the middle yet. I'm a little bit perplexed.
You were 33 degrees in the commentary box, but as we've talked about, a lot
Even
hotter in
warmer.
the middle and probably feels like 37, 38.
Probably feels more like 45, actually.
Jeez. As you talked about, Alan, heavy rain overnight, tropical thunderstorm, lightning too. There'll be heat coming from the ground, from the grass. Would have been quite moist this morning.
When I stepped out of my room this morning, out of my house, honestly, with the noises of all the insects and everything, I could have been in the Amazon rainforest. It really, it did not feel like Japan. People do probably aren't fully aware of
Totally.
the weather conditions and what it's like out here,
Totally, I
particularly
know.
at this time of year.
I know when I arrived back in the late 90s, I had no idea of the intense heat of the Toyama summer, Japan summers, on the west coast, near the ocean, but no real sea breeze to talk of. And yeah, we'd hit temperatures between 35 and 40. The worst thing was hopping into your car, which didn't have aircon. Back then I was, yeah. But back live, of course, here in Sano, the temperatures are hot, and I can totally understand if they have taken drinks and over earlier. Just making, looking after the welfare of the players, of course. That wicket from Taguchi Quinn certainly is just, given belief to the Eagles, perhaps. Who knows? They dearly love the wicket of Mafangula, who sits on 29 of 27 balls. She'll be key just to make sure that the Waves do secure this third victory. Not easy coming out on this wicket. First few deliveries, and the way Erika Taguchi Quinn's bowling, it's going to make life tough for Nishimura, who is the new batter.
Yeah, 1 ball left of the over. Plenty of air again. Fielder just lets that squirm through, so they are looking for 2 and they'll get them. 52 for 4 at the end of 9 overs. I guess we'll see what happens at the end of this next over, Garth, and if there is a 2.5 minute break or if they've taken it early. Akari Nishimura off the mark, first ball. Well, there have been a few highlights during this tournament. Garth, we've seen some good deliveries, we've seen some good batting, good moments, but I think nothing better than that Taguchi Quinn ripper. Nothing like seeing a leg spinner take wickets like that. Definitely a highlight for me.
Yep. I'm trying to think. Batting wise, we've seen some lovely sixes. Kerry Chan, Erika Older, Shimako Kato had a muscle to 6 straight. But yeah, what a delivery from the leg spinner. Not for the first time, played out to mid-on, who's on the circle. Strong throw back from Phil Sow, but just missed with the backup, and they've come through for 2 overthrows. And can understand the shy at the stumps, but it actually beat 2 fielders backing up. First the keeper, and then Point, who came round. So Waves looking to gain momentum back here. They don't want to leave the job up to the tail end, put added pressure on them. So,
Umpire Thurgate took his time over that one.
yeah,
Didn't look like the worst shout.
Nishimura, just perhaps
Yeah, there could have been a little bit of bat
I
saving
think
her
she got
there.
an inside edge, to be honest.
Yeah, otherwise it looked pretty adjacent.
Quick run there, but Gula backing up well. So things are happening. It's a part of the match where it really could go. It could be an important to the outcome, really.
Yeah,
That's what
every
we spell.
run matters at this point. I mean, there are only 13 more runs needed.
And that's going to certainly
That's going to
help.
be 4 of them.
Yeah, good shot. And Afangula, we've seen a different performance from her today. Didn't see much in the first 2 games with the bat, but today she's certainly showing us a full array of shots. She especially likes that onside, playing some lovely pull strokes and drives.
Yeah, she's really stepped up. I don't know if she had that half chance, didn't she? Oh, that's another boundary. This game's going to be over in no time, Garth.
Yep. Clattered
She,
out to long off, beating the fielder.
I don't know if you've seen the certificates that the MVPs get, but I have to write everyone's name on. Carrie Chan was fine, Jess Adams was fine, and Mogalang Mafangula is going to test the space on those forms. So let's see where this goes. They've got the 10 overs and they are having another break. So despite just having a nice long break, it looks like the batting team will get their water now. I'm not quite sure what's happened with the teams here. Coach Miyagi's not coming out to speak. I guess with just 5 runs needed, he doesn't feel like there's much he has to say at this point.
Yep. The batters will be...
Yeah, it looks like common sense is prevailing. The drinks are going off, and we're just going to carry on. I think they may have made a slight error in not knowing what over it was, and a wicket fell in the 9th over rather than the 10th, and they took the break then. But at that stage, probably made a bit more sense. Those 2 back-to-back boundaries at the end of that Gandhi Jafta over really has ended this game as a contest.
Yep, just 5 needed now for the
14 of that over, yeah.
The Waves to complete what would be a 3-0 series win. But Taguchi Quinn, our leg spinner's back into the attack, and wouldn't it be great if she could snare a couple of wickets. Fielding just the 1 out on the boundary, deep square.
Oh,
just short.
Quite. Run out of peel
Also
as well.
Peel and
No.
yeah,
Plenty going on.
just back foot swatted, cut it, but just falling short of point. It's, could have easily been another wicket for Taguchi Quinn. This time Fangula just goes on the back foot and drives it out to deep mid wicket for 2. It takes her score now through to 42. I've only seen the 150 in the series, Alan. That was Kerry Chan on the first day.
That's right. Yeah.
And, Fangula
Yeah, Erika Taguchi Quinn given a bit of a short shrift here, hasn't she? Not much. Oh,
Oh,
she's done it again.
yeah,
Oh,
just
I think
an
that's
appeal.
just missed.
Wow.
Goodness me.
Would have been a strong appeal. So just one needed here, but almost another wicket there for Taguchi Quinn.
This is the best I've seen her bowl. She's really enjoying this one. She's bowled pretty well throughout the tournament and hasn't got the rewards, but today she's typically, without much to defend, she's causing all sorts of troubles for the batters.
Oh, well picked up and direct hit would have been well short, but she only had one stump to look at, did Gufter, but that brings about the end of the match. And victory to the Eastern Waves, making it 3-0 in the series. It's been a good series, Alan, and while convincing to the Waves, it's I'm sure both teams will take a lot of learning away from the series and learning playing along some of the overseas players. It's been great to see them as part of this tournament.
Absolutely. I think they've really added value, both in experience, knowledge and quality. I think they've brought the standard up. The games haven't always been the highest scoring, but there's been, as we said, plenty of highlights in the inaugural WJPL. 3-0 to the Eastern Waves. Players shake hands. The bonds that have been made, the friendships that have been made throughout this sort of 8 days, I think will hopefully last a very long time and make it all worthwhile. And hopefully we'll be back with a similar event next year, Garth.
Sounds good, and let's hope so.
Thanks very much to yourself. Thanks for everyone for following. Please do check out the JCA website for the match reports, JCA socials for all the content on there. Hit subscribe on our YouTube feed. And Garth will be back this afternoon for a couple more T10s.
Brilliant.
Thanks, everyone.
Thanks, Alan.